Hey you guys. Okay, before we talk about everything that's back here, because I know I do a video all about that. I had a big local palette that I picked up last week and I have a lot to say about it. But first, I thought it would make a lot more sense if I just talked to my OG subscribers, the people that might care about this news. I don't think this video will do super well, but I feel like I owe it to a lot of you in my audience to share some news with you. So I had this video ready to go and it will be dropping this week, hopefully, but I thought this would be more appropriate to share first. Since I have announced it on Instagram and in my community feed here on YouTube, we got some pretty life-changing news right at the beginning of January this year that I am having a baby. We are having our third child. I can't even, saying it out loud feels very weird. It still feels extremely surreal. I am 36 years old, so it was definitely not part of the plan we had for a long time. We really thought that we were just gonna have 2 children and be done. As all you parents know out there, it's just being a mom, being a dad, it's really hard. Kids are hard work. We kind of thought with our 2 very active and rambunctious boys, well, this is it, and we feel great about it. They're both born right after each other, so they're best buddies, and it just kind of felt right for a while, and I was really overwhelmed. I kind of thought I'd have a big family before I got married, and when I got married, we were planning on having more, but that changed. I quickly realized after my first 2 that I don't know that I was cut out to have a lot of kids. Postpartum's not fun. Even my birth plan didn't go right. I had this birth plan with my first where I was gonna have a natural childbirth and everything was gonna be smooth, and of course the opposite happened, and it was an emergency C-section and everything was crazy. And while we love our little Calvin, he's our oldest and he is the sweetest little guy, as a baby he was very colicky and very challenging, did not like sleep, did not like eating. Nursing was an issue, bottle feeding was hard, all of it was so hard. So I had Graham right after, kind of as an accident, but I'm so glad Graham came. They are just a year and a half apart, they're 1 year apart in school. They are best buddies, and while Graham was an easier baby, postpartum was still really, really hard for me. So after all of that, I mean, those of you who've had kids back to back know it is really challenging because you're going through phases of the baby gets their teeth in or they need to be potty trained, and it felt like as soon as I was done with one, the next one needed to be in that phase. So every difficult phase lasted twice as long. But that's when they were really little, that's when I started my business, and that's when I started to feel like my head was on straight, and I felt so, I just started to come out of the fog, right? And we all kind of know how that is. So, years go by and we are just thinking, this is so great. We kind of talked about number 3 occasionally. We kept saying to ourselves, we'll just wait, we'll wait. We kind of gave ourselves these arbitrary deadlines. I had a deadline in my mind of 35 because I didn't want to get pregnant past that because that's geriatric pregnancy, or that's a little more high risk, and I kind of was I don't know that I want to do that. So that was the arbitrary deadline I set in my mind, and so we'd go through small phases of maybe we should try, maybe we should not. We'd talk about having our third, and then inevitably it would kind of get tabled and we'd go back to going, let's just enjoy our life right now. And it was ultimately me feeling I don't think I can handle it. I don't think I'm in a good place. Having kids is really hard, especially for me. It was just something I thought mentally, emotionally, I can handle 2, and that's great. But all that to say, I never felt like we're done. I don't know how, I couldn't close that door all the way. I tried pushing it. I tried hauling my weight against it. I mean, I really tried to push that door closed, but it stayed open just a fraction of an inch, and it never kind of went away. And I think once my kids started school, something clicked in my brain where I was wait, I don't think I'm ready for this. As hard as it is to have the kids home and to do everything, that they need a lot of things, and it can be hard when they're little. When they go off to school, that's it. They're in school until they're moving out of the house, basically. So I was wait, this went by in a flash, in the blink of an eye. And I found myself thinking I don't know that I'm ready, and I don't know that we feel done, and something did not feel complete. So, we are a family of faith, and we decided to be prayerful about it and think about it. And as soon as we decided to maybe open up that door and try again, I felt incredible peace, and I felt like, okay, I guess this is right. And so our thought was, well, we'll just try for a while, and if it happens, great, and if it doesn't, that's okay. I was more than okay. I was like, all right, then I've given it to God and I can like let go. So as soon as we started to make that decision, and we decided to open that door again, it happened like really quickly. So I figure it was just the right time finally at last. After all these years of going back and forth in my mind and flip-flopping, you know, it's totally a personal decision between every single family, and I totally get that. And there are many families who stop at one, too, who don't have kids, and I think that's awesome. Like, you just do what feels right for you, and for me, it just did not feel right. Something did not feel complete until we decided, again, open that door and try and see what would happen. And now I guess this was just part of the plan. So I don't know if any of that made sense. I'm just kind of just talking off the cuff. But we're really excited, and we think it's going to be so great. It didn't feel real for a while until I had that ultrasound, and then I realized, oh my gosh, this is happening again. So I haven't really felt that sick. I felt pretty good. I feel extremely lucky. My pregnancies are pretty mild. I don't throw up. I do feel very fatigued at times, and I do feel waves of nausea. But I would say this one, shockingly, has been my most mild so far. To the point where I was like, I don't even know if this is going to be viable, until she checked it and everything looks good. I was kind of surprised because with my other two, I had major food aversions and I had pretty significant nausea. I remember thinking with my second son, when will I ever crave food again? It just nothing sounded good. But this time around, it's been, other than a few mild waves, it's been pretty, I've been able to eat kind of whatever, not a lot of food aversions, not too fatigued. I've been able to continue my running schedule, which I love doing. So that's been a huge blessing. So I am super grateful for that, because I know many, many women suffer a lot in the first trimester. So my heart goes with you. A lot of women suffer the whole pregnancy. So I feel extremely selfish even saying this. Yeah, I'm about exiting the first trimester. So baby's probably going to be born at the end of August. It's crazy to me. I guess we'll have our third. There's a lot of things I know now as a seasoned mom that are important for babies and not as important for babies. So I feel like it'll kind of be a new experience. I hope that we're able to, me especially, enjoy this experience and enjoy the baby a little bit more without a lot of the anxiety and stress that I felt the first time around. Because I kind of now know what's coming, and I know how fast it goes. And I know that the sleepless nights don't last forever, and the snuggliness doesn't last forever. So yeah, so we're really excited. My boys are so excited. They are over the moon. They want to hug the baby all the time. We just barely told them. So they give me hugs and they want to hug the baby. It's so cute. I think they'll be really good big brothers. This baby will be so lucky, lots of love surrounding it. We don't know the gender. We'll know in a couple weeks probably, because I am advanced maternal age. I am going to be doing like a blood test and just kind of making sure everything looks good. And that does let us find out the gender pretty quickly. So what does this mean for my business? One thing is, I'm forever grateful that I do what I do, forever, because it's all on my own time and all on my own terms. I love that so much. I do not need to ask anybody for maternity leave or anything like that. I do it all on my own schedule. So that is a tremendous blessing. Also, my husband gets 20 weeks of paid paternity leave from where he works, which is unbelievable and unheard of here, especially like in America. I feel like that's when he used to get just 2 weeks, and I thought that was incredible. So 20 weeks is going to be just unbelievable for our family. We're going to have so many great memories together. He's going to be able to help a lot. That was another big factor in our decision, because he'll be able to help a ton with the older two, and I'll really just be able to focus on the baby and focus on recovering. But yeah, as far as my business goes, I'm really glad I do what I do. Everything's on my own time. I am going to be figuring out a few more creative ways to create passive income for myself. eBay and Amazon will always be a part of my life. Love it. It's like how I create content. It's what I do. It's what I find. I've become so seasoned with it. I know it so well. I love doing it. So that's never going to go away. But YouTube is an example of something that's a little bit more passive, and it's a way for me to continue to earn income even if I'm, out of commission. So figuring out how to schedule my videos out, I think, will be really important. I really want to do that a little bit better. And I do want to explore a few or more avenues of passive income like Merch by Amazon. I have a Merch by Amazon account. I haven't used it, but I want to do some things there. And just other things like that. I want to see an experiment. You might call me crazy. I want to see if there's a way that I can maintain my income even if I take a few months off and even with a new baby. Now I know I'm not going to be, 100% gung-ho because babies require a ton of your time. So I'm fully anticipating that. But if I can create a few more little engines that continue to make money for me, or if I can figure out more streamlined ways to have connections here locally to then send inventory to Amazon, things that I can do to streamline my business so that I'm not out and about quite so much, I think that will be really, really key. So in a way, this is good because it's kind of forcing me out of my comfort zone with what I've been doing and forcing me to find, again, this liquidation here was out of my comfort zone, but I'm so glad that I did it because it's teaching me a lot. And it could be a potential source of revenue down the road that, again, I did not have to go out and handpick every piece here. I was able to just pick it up in bulk. So that's something that I'm looking forward to experimenting with and exploring, because if I'm successful with it, it'll just change my business forever. And especially with Amazon too. I'm going to explore a few different avenues to make it a little more streamlined and a little more simplified for myself. These avenues require me to do a lot more research, a lot more prep, a lot more planning. But I do think it'll pay off in the long run. It's put me in the fast lane for getting this figured out because I do want to have this figured out before the baby comes. But at the same time too, you guys, my whole business has been grown and been created while I have been part-time. And I'm so used to that I actually love the idea of now continuing my part-time schedule. And like, that doesn't bother me. The fact that I'm going to continue to have, 10 to 15 hours a week, up to 20 hours a week, time to work on my business is completely fine with me because I'm just used to that. And I get to be a mom at the same time to my kids and I get to be there for them and, do all that fun stuff with them. It's the perfect balance and I really love what I do. If it's okay with you guys, I'm going to continue to share updates here and there. I don't know if anyone will care, and I kind of just made this video thinking maybe one person might be interested. So over the last 4 years of me doing YouTube, really 3 years more consistently, I have felt like we've grown almost like a little family. I know that sounds corny, but it's true. It's like how I feel. So this is just me giving my little YouTube fam an update on our lives, on something significant happening to us. And I will, if anyone cares, maybe you can leave comments and just let me know. If you care to hear updates on the pregnancy, updates on, how I'm doing, how the family's doing, all of that stuff, I would love to continue to share. So if that's of interest to you, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for just joining me today and letting me chat with you like a friend, like an old friend. I am really excited about this. I mean, I'm nervous, but I'm really mostly excited. I'm mostly excited for that feeling of incompleteness in our family to be done, because now we will have finally that third that's always kind of floated in my mind. It's like it's finally here, it's finally time, and we can finally feel a little bit more peace about it, which that's honestly, I've been most excited just for that closure. It's been almost torturous. Ask any of my friends around here, anytime the topic was brought up, I'm a mess because I just couldn't get it out of my head, but I knew it would be hard. I was so in limbo about it. So it kind of feels nice just to have this decision made, have it be done, and move forward with our lives and be excited for this extra little person that we're going to be having in our family. So anyway, thanks you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I promise the next video will be all about reselling and how to grow your business. So don't let this turn you off. I'm not going to turn into a vlogger, I promise. I'm not going to turn this channel into something that it's not. Don't worry. We're going to continue with the content I've always been doing, but I just really appreciate all of you guys tuning in today. Thank you so much for following along with us. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. As always, take care, you guys, and I will catch you next time.